my world was to be more of the natural world and say, okay, all drugs are bad. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a bad toothache? Hey, give me every drug on the planet to help me get through it. All right, till
Mhm.
I get to the dentist, or try to have dental work done without Novocaine. You know what I'm saying? Now there are other forms of things that take that are less damaging than Novocaine, but guess what happens? I would we're going to need some medications every now and then for some severe issues. On the flip side, if you think, even being a diabetic, that you can get your body healthy with the medications or the advice that the medical doctors are going to give you, the drug or surgery, you've lost your mind too. It doesn't work that way. Do you see what I'm saying? So the answer is the fact that if you're on either extreme camps, it's almost like in politics. If you're on either extreme camps, you've lost your mind because there's things that don't add up that way. So when I was going to one direction, besides my other things of being a chiropractor, it gave me a good perspective of that the body has certain abilities that our current healthcare form will never actually talk about. And even today, it even shows it. If you even talk about natural immunity, they act like you're crazy. But you understand that all immunity is natural. All immunity is. They've just so moved towards artificial stimulation and manipulation because that's what it is. That's not immunity. Okay. And so what happens is, so I'm happy that I've gone in a different direction. But here's the cool thing is this. Here's the cool thing is this. What if I told you that what you are going through, so you individually are going through right now, being a person that suffers from, is it type 1 or type 2 diabetes that you suffer from?
Type 2.
Okay. If you continue with advice on that medical side, I'm going to tell you right now, your future is not good. It's not. So then, you know why? Because you're going to just deal with disease management, and every medication you take causes a little damage every time you take it. Don't believe me? Look at the box. It'll tell you it does. But the idea is this. So you still have a problem. And if you actually just don't take your insulin, your problem is more evident. So all they're doing is managing you enough, which makes you a very good customer. But what if I told you there was a different perspective? What if I told you you didn't have to live with that if you thought a little bit differently? And if you look at what's happening today, they don't want you to think differently. And they criticize people and call this. So I'm happy I don't think like them. I'm extremely happy I don't think like them because the people who actually teach them and pay for their books actually are the people that sell them the products. We know this. Do you think that medical doctors actually get information from real science or from pharmaceutically stimulated and actually produced books that they want the people to be? And so I actually love the fact that I went in a different direction, a different college, a different thinking, because it allowed me to actually look at the female body dramatically different and solve problems that the medical system actually, no joke, last Thursday, if you look at my media, I was blessed enough to Mayo Clinic doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, staff. They had a great event, and they had me come speak to them, and it was great because they got this church because it filled it up like crazy. I went and spoke, got to talk to the pastor, went and spoke to all these scientists and things like that. Because you know what's up is this? People are still looking for problem solving. And when they don't have the answer, which the majority of the time they don't, I'm going to say that we can go through almost every condition, and I can take type 2 diabetes to COVID to everything and just show you they're just trying to get you through the day. But doing that, it's going to be a little problem. So I'm happy that I don't have their degrees because I've been conditioned to think like them.
And I was with General Nutrition Center for over 33 years, and some of my favorite people and some of my favorite conversations are with chiropractors
Yep.
because we can just geek out on talking supplements and stuff like that. And
Yep.
and a lot of people don't realize, that sometimes using supplements is a lot better than some of the drugs that we take. Like you talking about, the immune system.
Yep.
It's amazing how even like this morning before we got on here, I went outside, put on my sweats, put my earbuds on, listened to some positive stuff, but did an hour of cardio.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how that boosts your immune system naturally.
Yep.
So
Yep.
talk to us about, because now we're in the whole world of COVID. What are some of the things that we can do to boost our immune systems?
Well, let's change that languaging because if you understand the immune system, you can't boost it.
Okay.
Okay. Let me say that again. You can't boost it because here's what happens is this. And I'm gonna talk to you like you're my patient sitting across the room from me, okay, across the desk.
That sounds.
So my question for you, because let's say you have a concern. So let's say everybody watching now has a concern with COVID. So having a different way of thinking, I'm not worried about the virus. Do you know why? Because I was just in Hawaii, did a wonderful talk out there. We also have an office out there. And it was kind of neat. And I jumped in the ocean with my wife and my girls, and we'll get into that story so you guys understand why how we reversed her whole process. But when I jumped in that ocean, do you understand that 1 liter of ocean water has more viruses in it than the amount of humans on the planet? Okay.
Wow.
Just set that, and so just look up any virology that way. So understand viruses are always there. Now, don't wrong. Get this. We know that some 60,000 people a year before COVID came along would die of flu. Okay. And I don't even disagree with that. But see, here's what happens. Why didn't everybody die from the flu? So just could you answer that question for me real quick? Why do you think everybody doesn't die from the flu even when they come in contact with it?
I guess some people are just healthier than others.
Right. So what happens is, what if I told you that we could take a snapshot of how your immune system was functioning with a certain lab to see if you were even susceptible to COVID or any other conditions or any other viruses?
Okay.
That's my point. And I guarantee you've been a doctor for all these years and it's never been done to you. Because here's what happens. The medical thinking doesn't think that way. They're looking to respond. And here's my example. I always call medicine the fire department. Think of the fire department. They get there. If your house is on fire, good. Axes and hoses to put it out. But when they do that, they cause some destruction through the process. But the bad part is this is if they even successfully put your house out, they've caused a lot of damage. But thank God they saved their house. You need a carpenter that's going to look at the house and rebuild it, reformat, put it back normal. That's healthcare. Medicine is the fire department. They have their axes and hoses and drugs and surgeries to actually put out the fire. Someone has COVID. Oh my goodness, they can't breathe. They're going to die. Cool. Drugs or surgery, do what you got to do. But what happens to those people that do survive with any therapy that they give them? What happens, do you think, when they come in contact with the next virus? See, because they have weak house. So I'm the carpenter. My job is to say, listen, but what if I told you that you could get a snapshot and testing to see how your immune response is doing, see how your hormones are doing? Because I've actually looked at over 100,000 labs myself, just hormone labs itself. And I can honestly tell you, I've never seen one doctor test it properly. And for example, like if I were to ask you, if I were to actually ask you how old you were when you had your testosterone and all your hormones tested, you're going to maybe you haven't had it done yet, but even then, guess what happens? You may have gotten it when you eventually had a problem. But see, that's the thing. We have a healthcare system that waits for everything is on fire and don't realize that that is a very bad way of looking at the human body because you need to maintain your house. So if you're sitting across me and you're concerned about COVID, I'm going to say, well, show me your labs that you got from your general practitioner, your specialist, every medical professional that wants to give you a shot. Why don't you give me a snapshot of your immune system, your labs? And I know right now you're going, well, they don't do that. You're right. So what they do is they use fear to make you fear a virus. And I'm saying, don't fear the virus. Let's make the host extremely strong. So when you come in contact with any virus, you actually have a ability to mount a response against it.
So then, okay, so you